Bhagavad Gita is a book of mankind's collected experience of and answers to life's most basic questions. Who I am, from where do I come, what is my purpose and destiny, and most practically, how do I find happiness? These podcasts originate in the lectures of Neil Bhatt, a disciple of Swami Chinmayananda. They are presented here in 20 to 30-minute segments, each covering 3 of the Gita's 701 verses. Welcome to Gita Wisdom for Daily Living.
So we have been discussing chapter 9, Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga, yoga of royal secret and royal knowledge. So far, the first 6 chapters focused on renouncing actions as the means to achieve knowledge. The knowledge about the self, who I am. That exercise will purify our mind and intellect and prepare them to receive the knowledge. So renunciation of actions was the one path we call Karma Yoga. In chapter 7, Bhagavan revealed that he exists in 2 states. One is manifest, another is unmanifest. But they both exist at the same time. Bhumi, Apa, Analaha, Vayuhu, Kam, Mana, Buddhi, Ahankar. This perceptible world is my lower Prakriti. But my higher Prakriti is unmanifest. Both exist at the same time. And then in 8th chapter, we have seen the method of dharana and yoga. So we have seen the verse which said, Sarva dvarani samyamya manohride nirudhyacha murdhni adhaya atmanaha pranam astitha yoga dharana. Supreme concentration on who I am. So placing your pranas, your vital energy into your head, focusing everything at one point to realize who you are. The realization of the self. Through dharana, from the path of yoga. Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, Astanga Yoga path. Now some of us may get frightened by that path. That this is nothing that I can participate in. This 8-4 path is not my cup of tea. So Bhagavan said that I have another method for you, which is the supreme knowledge. That was the supreme concentration and then realizing it. Here is supreme knowledge, knowing which you will be revealed that supreme secret. The supreme secret is who I am. Who I am is the biggest mystery because anytime I try to define it, I come up with something other than my own self. I define myself as my profession, my relationships, my accomplishments, my acquisitions, but I never define who I am. Because if I strip off everything that I have acquired and achieved, there's nothing really left. I'm an architect, you take architecture away from me. I'm Neil Bhatt, you take my name away from me. This is me, this body. If you take all that which is not me, then there is really nothing left for me to define who I am. So that's the royal secret. Bhagavan said, but I will tell you a path which is much easier. It is susukham krutam. It is easy to practice. If you are frightened by yoga dharana, then this is an easier path for you. So in the first 3 verses, Bhagavan just made that promise that I will tell you the supreme secret about yourself. Having known that, you will know everything that needs to be known. As we discussed last time, that Swetaketu learned all the Vedas and all Vedangas, and he was very proud. He went to his father, and he was actually finding faults in his father. His father said, have you asked about the knowledge? Having known which, you hear which is not heard, you think which is not thought, and you know which is not known. He said, probably my teachers didn't know about it. Therefore, they never taught me. Would you please teach me? And his father taught him. That became Chandogya Upanishad. So here Bhagavan says directly to us, I will give you that knowledge. Having known that, this greatest secret will be revealed to you. Idam te guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave. Because you have faith in me, I'll tell you this secret. Gnanam vignana sahitam. Gnana is something which I acquire from outside. That's my knowledge. I didn't have architecture knowledge before. I acquire architecture knowledge, I have Gnana. Vijnana is when I apply and experience myself. So they taught me how to design. When I started realizing I can design myself, that became Vijnana. That became my own knowledge. Yajgnatva moksha se asubhat. Having known that, you will be freed from all that is inauspicious. Everything that gives you sorrow in this life, you will be freed from that. Because you will not be associating yourself with that. Right now, my sorrows come from my attachment. Somebody else expecting should come to the class, it doesn't show up, I'm a little disappointed. You didn't come. If I don't have the attachment, there is no sorrow. Whoever came, whoever did not come, did not come. So Bhagavan said, you will be relieved from all that is inauspicious. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam, this is the supreme knowledge, revealing the supreme secret. Pavitram idam uttamam. This is the greatest purifier. Having known that you are not everything that you thought you are, which was giving you unhappiness. Swami Dhiranand used to say, as I have no problem. As Swami, I have all the problems. As long as I attach myself to my Swamihood, all the problems start. People are not coming to the lectures. Bhiksha is not well organized. Chinmaya Mission is not collecting enough money. All that is after I associate with something. The Bhagavan said here, Pavitram, it burns all your actions, righteous, unrighteous, and otherwise, of thousands of your previous lives. As soon as you realize that you are not that. That's why it's Pavitram. Pratyaksha avagamam. It's a direct knowledge. Prati aksha, right in front of you. It's your direct knowledge. Dharmyam, about your own self. Susukham kartum. You don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting. You just have to figure out who you are. I know who I am. It does not take much effort. I know I am here and you are there. There is no confusion ever in my mind. In the same way, how natural it is for me to know that this limited being is me, Bhagavan said, you will know who you are in your real self. Avyayam, once you know that, it's imperishable. That knowledge never goes away. It's not that I learned something and then it goes away. So I learned mathematics in my high school days, and architecture is not much mathematics. But actually the people who are weak at mathematics, they come to architecture. So why in architecture? So I couldn't do mathematics or physics or science. So architecture is easy. Avyayam, but this is imperishable. So I forgot all that I learned about mathematics. And now I received the book from our friend Raju Chidambaram. There's all these equations in it. So I wrote him that I understood part of it, but none of the equations I could figure out what they are. So someday he gave us a lecture. Yes. Because their knowledge was perishable. No, my knowledge of mathematics was perishable. So now Bhagavan said that I'll tell you who I am and who you are. And after that there is no confusion. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakt murtina. This entire jagat that you perceive is pervaded by me. That's one simple statement. There is nothing in this jagat where I am not there. Avyakt murtina, in my unmanifest form. As we have learned in chapter 7, two states of existence. Unmanifest and manifest. It's in a manifest form, it can be limited. You can see this cosmos and it has limit is 13.7 billion years old and all of that. But when in unmanifest form, I'm pervading the entire jagat. Matsthani sarvabhutani, all beings are in me. There is nothing which you can say outside of this universe. Our universe is finite, it's limit, but everything we know is in that universe. There is nothing outside this universe that we know of. Bhagavan said there is nothing outside me, period. Whether this universe or any other universe. Matsthani sarvabhutani, all beings, they are within me. They are not outside of me. You are also within me, he is also within me, she is also within me. We are all within a one single entity called unmanifest self, Bhagavan. Nachaham tesu avastitaha. But I am not placed in them. The first contradiction, first confusion for us, all my life I learned that Bhagavan is within me. Right from the beginning, apne Bhagavan ko pehchano andar. Bhagavan clearly says, I'm not there. I'm not placed in them. They are in me, I'm not in them. So here is the paradox about what we knew before and was confirmed by all religions. And here Bhagavan straightforwardly say, I'm not placed in them. They are in me, but I'm not in them. And then he says, Nacha masthani bhutani pasyame yogam aishwaram. No two beings exist in me. He said the beings are in me, I'm not in them. Now he says even they are not in me. It's more confusing. Average person who has learnt religion from osmosis and from parents and pandits, he will be completely Gnostic by this time. The Bhagavan said, everybody's in me, but I'm not in them. Also, they are also not in me. Bhuta brut nacha bhutastha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. I create them and sustain them, but I'm not dwelling in them. So Bhagavan is not in me, Bhagavan is not in you, Bhagavan is unmanifest, he is everywhere, but we are also not there. So how can we solve this conundrum? So remember, we learned in chapter 7 that there's two states of Bhagavan's existence. One is unmanifest, another manifest. Both exist at the same time. When Bhagavan created this Jagat, the Brahman plus Maya is equal to Ishvara. When Ishvara created this Jagat, he was the efficient cause and he was the material cause. He didn't have any of the material. He knew how to create this Jagat. Just like to create pizza, you need a pizza maker who knows how to create pizza. Also you need ingredients to make pizza. So that's the material cause. To create this Jagat, Bhagavan needed efficient cause, which is himself, then material cause. So where did he get the material? So it may be something like that I'm an architect and I create buildings, I design buildings, but I buy materials from Home Depot or other material supplier. So that may be one way of creating. But then I say, well, if the material is supplied by somebody else, he's a greater God than one who knows how to create. Contractors make more money than architects, but we only know how to create. They know how to build. So then you can continue and say, who is the real source of the material? We have to come to the conclusion that the material cannot be anything but Bhagavan's own self. He was the material and he was the efficient cause. So he created material out of himself. So his self is the material and his self is the Jagat and he is the creator. So there are three ways this transformation can take place. One is like milk and yogurt. Milk converted into yogurt. So the one style of transformation. The problem is that milk and yogurt do not exist at the same time. Milk was milk before, now it is yogurt. I can take some milk out of the yogurt to make tea. So that's one type of transformation. We know from chapter 7, both exist at the same time. The Jagat and Bhagavan exist at the same time. So that method of transformation is not valid. The second method of transformation is ice and water. So we have ice, you melt it and it becomes water, you freeze it and it becomes ice. So that may be another type. Bhagavan is Bhagavan, then becomes Jagat, and he goes back and becomes Bhagavan again. But in that case, all the two do not exist at the same time. When ice is there, water is not there. When water is there, ice is not there. But here the Bhagavan and Jagat remains in existence at the same time. So that type of transformation is not valid. See, the only type of transformation possible is that of superimposition. That we see a snake when actually there is a rope. These are classical examples. We see a snake in a rope because of my ignorance. In my ignorance, I superimpose snake on the rope. So snake is very real because I see it, I'm afraid of it, and I want to run away from it. At the same time, rope is also existing. The one who knows it's a rope, for him the rope is existing. One who knows it's a snake, the snake is existing. Both exist at the same time. So this is the only way of transformation. The way the rope transformed into snake is the only way Bhagavan could have transformed himself into this Jagat. This Jagat is nothing but a superimposition on Bhagavan by my mind and intellect. which is nothing but a product of ignorance, maya. And therefore I see this world of plurality. Within reality, there is no world of plurality, only Bhagavan exists, period. Now we can read this verse from that perspective. Maya tatam idam jagat avyakta murtina, in my unmanifest form. Right now, snake is real for me, rope is unmanifest. But without that unmanifest rope, my snake is not possible. So that rope is pervading all throughout that snake in its unmanifest form. Bhagavan says, I exist in my unmanifest form, in my entire creation. Matsthani sarva bhutani, all beings are in me. The snake is in the rope. Without the existence of rope, snake is not possible. You remove the rope, snake will go away. Therefore he said, Matsthani sarva bhut, all beings are in me because they are superimposed on me. Nacha ham tesu avastitaha, but I am not in them. Rope is not in the snake. Rope never converted into snake. Therefore rope is not in the snake. Therefore Bhagavan says, I never transform myself into the plurality. Therefore I am not in them. I am who I am. You are seeing me as the world of plurality. But in reality, there is only one self exists. Nacha masthani bhutani. Also the beings are not in me. Rope can say the snake is not in me. There is no quality of a snake in a rope. It does not have any poison in it. It does not have the movement. It does not have any instinct to bite you. None of that we see in snake which are afraid of is not in that rope. None of the sorrows and unhappiness which we see in this world is not in Bhagavan at all. Bhagavan therefore says, Nacha masthani bhutani. Those beings are not in me. Pasyame yogam aishwaram. See my divine maya. This is a grand illusion that you are seeing it. When we go to see the magic show, we know it's an illusion, but still we are baffled by it. We try to figure out how does it do it. Even they tell you 10 times it's an illusion, you will not be able to figure out what it is. You are spellbound by that illusion. That's what Bhagavan says, Pasyame yogam aishwaram. Bhut bhrut nacha bhutastha mamatma bhuta bhavana. By my own self, I create these beings out of me and support them, but I am not in them. Rope says, I am not in the snake. Rope is rope, but I create the snake out of rope. Bhagavan gives us an example to understand. Yatha akasa sthito nityam vayu sarvatra go mahan. Tatha sarvani bhutani matsthani iti upadharayaha. Just as powerful wind moves all around in the space, always remaining in the space. It's not outside the space. The space is subtler than air, wind. Something which is grosser than other entity, it cannot affect the subtler entity. So the wind cannot affect space. So it says, Brahmashraya sattva rajah tamo gunatmika maya asti. Supported by Brahman, this maya is existing with sattva, rajas and tamas. Out of that, tataha akasa sambhuta. First thing created out of this maya is space. Akasat vayuhu. From that space, vayu is created. Vayoho tejaha. From the air, fire was created. Tejas apaha. From fire, water was created. And advayaha pruthivihi. And from the water, pruthivi was created. The subtlest was created first and the grossest comes last. Bhumi, apaha, nala, vayo. Subtler than space is mana, buddhi and ahankar. In that gradation, ahankar is the subtlest that's always there. And it creates everything else out of that. Mana, buddhi, ahankar. And then these 5 great elements. And then we interact with the 5 sense objects. Sabda, sparsa, rupa, rasa, gandha. And they are in reverse order. Space has only sabda, bhumi has all 5. So Bhagavan said, just as the great wind is all over in that space, which is subtler, my unmanifest form is the subtlest of all. So all the ahankars, all the beings who consider themselves to be beings are within me. Tatha sarvani bhutani mattani iti upadaraya. I am the fundamental reality and it has never changed. Nothing emerged out of this reality, but a superimposition was made on the reality to create this world. So this world is only there as long as we perceive it. As my perception ends, the world disappears. So when I wake up, the world of dream is not available for me. It does not exist. So when I wake up from this dream also, Bhagavan says, by that Raja Vidya, that supreme knowledge, when this mystery is revealed, that there is no two states of existence for Bhagavan. He only exists as one, but I see him as manifest and unmanifest. We'll stop right here. If you find this podcast helpful, please support it by donating any amount by going to the episode's website at neilbhatt.podbean.com or at chinmayarichmond.org. Thank you. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.